never don't care. We can falter in the battle. We're tried and true. Indiana, Indiana, we're all for you.
Welcome to the end of the season show for the Indiana Hoosier Basketball Show. I'm your co-host, Mike Goodpaster, along with 1981 national champion Steve Risley. And Riz, you're going to help us put a bow on today's season. You want to explain how we're going to run the show today, what our topics will be?
Well, Mike, technically the season never ends. We just started a new one today.
No, wait, this season ended. All right. We started a new one today.
Well,
That means
it ended with the loss to Northwestern.
yeah, well, we needed that season to end. Go ahead.
Okay, well, it ended. I mean, it ended just about like 8 of the last 10 have ended with us not dancing. So I thought we'd have some fun with things today. I thought one of the things we'd do would kind of maybe to develop and give the IU basketball team our report card. Not that it's worth any more than the paper or the airwaves it's talked about on. It has no credence or clearance. I'm sure nobody's really even going to look at it other than the fans. Fans is a very loosely based word that hang out with us for the 40 minutes to an hour that we get on. So thought we'd have a little discussion about that. Take a look at what we have already in the portfolio for next season, what our needs are, what our expectations should be. Looking at what Dusty May did in Michigan, our expectations should be a hell of a lot higher than what we got done this year. So I thought we'd just toy around with that, kind of keep it a free form, loose. We will have a guest appearance from what's his name, Jizzy. What's his first name? Squeezy Jizzy. I can't remember the first name. I don't know. Somebody. I don't know. It's just
It's Maximus. Come on, Steve. Go ahead. Get us started.
I literally the night before did not sleep because I watched the F1 race. Great race. F1 is getting it worked out. Liberty Media, an American-based company, has come in and put the American touch on boring European parades. Got it turned around. Incredible race for third place between Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, the Ferrari team. They're going to kill each other, but they dueled it out with Lewis getting on the podium for the first time in a Ferrari car. That ended at about 2 o'clock in the morning, 3:30. I stayed up because the TBC Sawgrass, the Players Championship, started at 4:30. So I said, "Oh, the hell with going to sleep. I'm just going to watch a episode of Airline Disasters." I mean, you don't ever want to fly again. You know, after watching Airline Disasters, it's a Sunday night Discovery show. You don't ever want to get in an airplane again.
I don't want to, anyways.
90% of plane crashes are caused by freaking pilot error. Okay, just pilot error. So I did that, and then the NASCAR race came on. My boy Chase Elliott finished second. I have not even seen the selection show yet, so I don't have any idea who's going where, except that IU's going nowhere.
Yeah, not in it this year. So
not in it this year. Anyway, so that's the topic of the day is report card and a kind of a look at what we already have in the bag for next year and what our needs are and what our expectations should be. How do you want to start?
Start us off, dude. You're running it.
Oh, God. No, don't do this. Let's go back to Matt Jizzy.
Maximus
Jizzy.
Well, what's the first thing you want to grade, Steve?
I thought we would take a look at number one, total team effort per game. Did we get everybody that came in making effort? Was our effort legitimate? Was it working towards something? Or were we just running up and down the court hard? I actually did say for the first time this season, a long time, I actually saw a couple players dive for loose balls.
Oh, it happened all year, Steve. This team tried. They just weren't any good.
Okay. So team effort, total team effort. What does that entail to you? Well, you're coming in fuzzy all of a sudden, too.
I know. Total team effort, just the effort they give on the court. If we're not talking about brains being connected with it, I think the effort on this team was a B.
I would agree. I gave it a B2 for team effort. I thought they came out, and more times than not, I looked at the first 5 minutes. Well, I looked at it at every game. The first 5 minutes is the start of the game, and the first 5 minutes start of the second half. And we seemed to be able to control those more times than we didn't. We came out good, or we were shooting well. The offense was clicking. We were controlling tempo for the first 5 minutes, and then whoever we were playing seemed somehow would make a run at us, and it would seem to all fall off. And that
Yeah,
would
I don't think effort was the issue with this team. I think intelligent effort could have been the issue with it. Robert gives it a C. What do you give it, Steve? B?
I gave it a B. I thought it is probably the one bright spot. Well, one of few bright spots this team did. It played hard. I thought that their effort was good every time they stepped on the court. I was pleased with it. Thought we needed more effort because we lacked talent in certain positions, and I think but that goes into the case of fundamentals, maybe
All right,
more
real
so than
quick,
effort.
Mr. GG do you think that Duke deserved a number one overall seed? I would say probably. That would be my answer. I still think Michigan's the best team in the country. They do have the injury now that hurts Michigan's chances the rest of the way. But Duke did beat Michigan. Michigan did lose to Purdue in the Big Ten championship game. So I've got no issue with Duke being number one. All right, what do you got next, Steve?
Next, number two, I had coaching. What do we think of the effort of coaching this year? We came in a brand new coach, um, pretty well picked a lot of his own players coming in. Didn't have to inherit Mike Woodson's team. They'd pretty well whitewashed that all out, and he had his own choices to make. Did we select the right players? Did we get the right players to fit his coaching style, to fit what he thought he knew about the Big Ten? Um, your thoughts on coaching before we give it a grade?
My thoughts are this, and I think this all comes back to when he got the job, how long he had to do this. This was kind of slapped together really quick. You can sit there and say, well, Dusty May did this. Well, Kurt Signetti did this too, but nobody else did it. Robert Carter gives him a C. I would give him a C also. And to me, it's almost an incomplete because this season is going to tell you if he knows how to build a team or not. You have plenty of time to prepare. All the people complaining because Indiana's not in one of these extra tournaments. I think a lot of that reason, and the reason you see most of the big time programs that don't make it not go in it, because they're preparing for the NIL and the transfer portal. And I think that is where everything should hinge right now. And there's no excuses if this team's not in the tournament next year. They spent $10 million on the shit show we saw this year. They're probably going to have more money than that to spend next year. So I would say that we will find out if we've got the right guy in the next year. If this team's not in the tournament next year at this time, then there needs to be a change.
I gave him a C minus. I think that a coach that comes in and takes over the reins of a program such as Indiana ought to be able to exert more influence, no matter what level of talent he's got. There was enough talent on this team to qualify for the tournament this year.
There was enough talent here to win those two Northwestern games, and that would have got you.
Would have got us in, yeah, and we failed. We failed. I thought the bench coaching was not up to speed, what I would expect. I don't think that there were changes made throughout the course of a game that gave us a better opportunity to win. We seemed to stay status quo with whatever we had, and relied solely on Wilgerson or DeVries to hit 3-pointers for us. We didn't really look at what the flow of the game was very well and say, okay, I got their bigs in foul trouble. Let's take what we got and let's punch it inside, or let's even send Tucker and let's send Wilgerson inside. Let's punch him in. Let's get our 3 points that way, and just really ridicule them. I didn't think we made the changes we needed to get wins and steal some wins. I don't think we stole a win all year long. You could say
Purdue.
Purdue. I was getting ready to say you could say Purdue was a steal, but only because they were just a better basketball team than we were.
Well, Purdue wasn't playing well at the time either. They were coming
Yeah,
off the loss to UCLA. They came back and had to go on the road to Indiana. And
my interpretation, of stealing a win is a game like Northwestern where we should be winning, but for some reason we're not playing well, but yet we find a way at the end to steal the win away from them, even though they're upsetting us. We get it back. And I don't think we had many, if any, of those. Maybe we did
unfortunately,
against.
if we did, it would be like Rutgers or
Well, it
something.
would be either against Marion or Incarnate Word.
So get off Marion.
Those two
Incarnate Word is a
powerhouses.
D1 program. Robert Carter gives that a C. What do we got next?
I give the coaching a C minus. Offense. Did we have the right offense set up? Did we utilize player? Or we utilize talent well?
Hey, you know what? David Burnworth says it. 0-7 against Northwestern says a lot.
Yeah. It does. I mean, I go back and tell the joke that there were only two things in my career at IU basketball I was absolutely scared to death of with Knight as a team. One was losing the Hoosier Classic. It was that tournament we used to host in Bloomington Assembly Hall over the holidays. Three lower echelon teams would come in. They get to play in front of 17,000 fans on TV. And we would get a couple of good tune-up games going into the Big Ten to work on things, change lineups around, things like that. But it was a win-win for everybody. I never wanted to be a part of losing that. I never did I ever want to go in and lose the Hoosier Classic. Now, the year after we graduated in '82, IU lost the Hoosier Classic. And the other thing I never wanted to be a part of, because I know how the plane rides were after we won by 40 coming home from Northwestern. I never wanted to be part of a team that lost to Northwestern. And sure enough, in '82, after we left, I think Indiana lost to Northwestern too. That year, right around there, right within the next couple of years. I thought, oh my God, I know how bad the plane ride.
I think it might have been 83. It was
Might have
82
been
or 83.
yeah, but it was right within.
And actually, it was the 1 year in the 80s where Northwestern was good because
they were good.
They actually made it to the NIT that year, which back then was a much bigger deal than it is now. But
I think offensively, okay, go ahead.
Robert Schwartz, I'll get this in real quick and then we'll give our offensive grades. Think of this: half the conference made the NCAA. IU as a program can claim to be among some of the better teams in the country. Isn't good enough to be in the upper half. Well, they are probably 10th, though. So that makes them number one in the second bracket, Steve.
Cream of the crap.
All right. So offensively, I would say this. I don't mind a 5-out offense. I mind when it's run poorly and ineffectively. I think this is a team that is talented. They're not talented enough to run this offense against a top half of the Big Ten team. How about that? I didn't see any 45-degree angle cuts. I didn't see a lot of stuff on the baseline. I don't think we had a point guard. I think we had a point guard that might have been capable of being successful, but for some reason, Tate Connerway wasn't allowed to play the last part of the season. We had Connor Enright, who, even if you leave him wide open from 15 feet away and beg him to shoot, probably isn't going to shoot. And if he does, you'll probably wish he didn't. I think the point guard play, shooting the ball, has got to be better. And basically, until you get to the last 7 games of the season, the schedule wasn't overly difficult. Now, the good teams like Michigan still beat their doors off. But when they played average competition, their ball movement and spacing was awesome. We used to talk about it. But there's very few games against top quality competition where the spacing and the ball movement was awesome. I would give the offense a D-. I thought it was absolutely fucking absurd. And I just think that it's a joke from what I saw. I mean, Lamar Wilkerson was a stud. That was it. I think Tucker DeVries, you're playing him out of position. You're making him play 40 minutes a game. Maybe, I have no doubt from watching Tucker at Drake and for a little bit at West Virginia that he could have played 40 minutes a game. He just can't do it banging big dudes down below and having to come up with 8 to 10 rebounds.
I agree. I would give it I'll go D- with you on this one. I think the offense was non-imaginative. It was very easy to defend. I think as the season went on, I saw more individual concerns than I did team effort to try and utilize the offense to put points. I thought early in the season, I thought they were moving the ball well. They were sharing the ball well. They were making good, crisp passes. But there ended up, like you said, no cutting through the lane. No, it just was five guys standing around the outside waiting for their turn to take the three. And maybe it was four guys waiting for Wilkerson to decide he didn't want to take the three. I thought that DeVries just went into a shell. I don't know if it was because of Wilkerson trying to dominate the offense or not, but when I looked at Tucker DeVries at the beginning of the season versus the end of the season, I thought he was about 2/3 the player he was at the beginning of the season. I thought early on Tucker was showing me he had multiple ways to score. Now maybe we just wore him out by playing him 40 minutes a game and leaving him in, but nonetheless, I thought if we got 12 to 14 points out of him at the end of the season, we would think that was a good game. Holy cow, we got he had a lot of single digit games toward the end of the season. So I think we didn't use our breadth of depth enough. We didn't use our bench enough. We didn't develop players. We didn't create opportunity for other players to be game ready. And the offense was pretty much a stand around perimeter defense offense with no imagination, no creativity. Again, no bench coaching, no taking a look at it and saying what is the defense doing to us that we can exploit or capitalize? What are they not doing to us that we can exploit and capitalize? So I would say offensively D-.
All right.
I think it had there been any type of offense of continuity or any type of offense, imaginative offense, we would have been dancing this week. We'd have been playing Thursday or Friday.
All right. Robert Schwartz says Enright drove me nuts. He would drive hard into the paint, but instead of trying to draw fouls or attempt to score, he was looking to pass the ball out. Agreed. Brian Peters has a very long comment that we'll get through here. It will be interesting to see how the fans respond moving forward across the parking lot as a championship program. 2 years and a very apathetic fan base traveled across the country and made neutral site games into home field advantage. Correct the ship quickly and you can use that. Otherwise, fans will save their finances for the football program and Assembly Hall will be suffering. IU has had consistent, meaningful basketball for 2 decades now, except for one cream class. One cream class. That's hard to say. And so, yeah, basically outside of 2016 and 2002, this program has been an absolute mess. And it's getting old. Steve, what you got next? Thanks for your comments, Roberts and Ryan.
Yeah. Defense. Let's go right from offense, go right to defense.
F.
Defense was non-existent again. We played one-on-one defense, man, and you're not even man-on-man. Man-on-man, and you can play help side man like crazy. It's a great defense. Help side man is what I was raised on, and it's a defense that is timeless. It's a zone with man principles, or it's a man defense with zone principles, however you want to look at it, depending on who you're playing. But we did nothing of the sort. There was virtually no help, no getting off your man to help another guy coming through. It was all one-on-one defensively all the way through, and we weren't talented enough athletically. We didn't have a bunch of Greg Kelsey.
Perfect timing, because you said that right after you said that. People said IU needs to be more athletic. I think that was obvious and easy to see there.
Yeah, there was no athleticism. We weren't athletic enough to guard people one-on-one. We needed help. And I'm telling you what, the simple philosophy of blocking out neutralizes more talented big people faster than any way to play defense on the court. Just block them out. The only way they can do is come over your back. As soon as they get airborne, you stick your ass into their hips, and the foul's on them 99% of the time. We were trained, and I learned to be a master at doing that. Just the minute that guy got off the ground to try and get over your back, just stick your ass right into him, and he's going nowhere but on your shoulder blades when he comes down, because you just kicked his legs right out from underneath him. Little secrets. Learning how to hold jerseys and how to hold people and how to use your arms quietly, as opposed to just trying to, chest barrel people into places.
Smack them in the nuts with the back of your hand.
No, that works too sometimes. Maybe you don't use your hands. Everybody's always looking at people's hands. Most fouls occur because hands are in the wrong place. All right. But there are other parts of your body that you can use to create the same effect than not use your hand. Keep your hands up, use your knee, use your hips,
I'm not going to
use
ask
other
what your other
body
body
parts.
parts are. So, all
Yeah.
right. So I
So,
think we all agree that the defense was a mess. What do you got next?
well, we're giving it a grade.
I gave it an F as soon as you said defense.
Okay. I'm yeah, I'm going to give defense an F too. I just thought there was no. So many times I got frustrated. Just says, "Oh my God, you guys would just would guard somebody." Jesus.
Robert Schwartz says, and all summer fans will hype whatever players that come here, pointing to highlight videos and stats. That's all we got, Robert. All right, that's all we got. Is hope.
And one of the thing I would suggest we do too to everybody, get off the comparing IU football to IU basketball. That's not that's like comparing F1 to NASCAR. I mean, those are two different entities. They're not even close. I mean, and I don't want to take anything away from. I can't compare DeVries to Signetti.
You can't compare anybody to Cincinnati. I mean,
Well, so be it. But stop with the comparisons.
It's an unfair comparison.
It's an unfair comparison, and it's not a realistic comparison. If you want to do that, compare DeVries to Dusty May, who is the closest in the boat to him in terms of being a relatively new coach who's developing success, or at least compare DeVries to Matt Painter, two basketball coaches. But Matt's been there the longest of any Big Ten coach, with the exception of.
And it took Matt a while to be successful too.
It did. But the university stayed with him, and he is produced. And I'll tell you what, most of those kids are recruits that he recruited that are players from the Indiana and the central area around here. And, he wins the way we all like to see Indiana schools win. Homegrown Hoosier talent.
Real quick, call to action. If you can, if you're watching on YouTube, go hit the like button real quick. All right. We got a lot of people on here. Ain't nobody hitting the like button. So I figure everybody probably forgot. Steve, what you got next?
All right. So that was, what was that? Defense. All right. We already gave a grade. All right. I'm going to skip effort hustle because to me that's the same as the very first one we did. Total team effort. That's the same thing. Player utilization.
F.
Yeah.
Trent Sisley. I think this.
I don't understand Trent Sisley. That's the start. I mean
but I don't understand Tate Conaway even more. I mean, Tate Conaway in the last game, 14 points in 19 minutes.
You can't redshirt Sisley. You're beyond redshirting him. He played too much. He's not, to my knowledge, he's not injured. I mean, and I had some conversations with people that would know, and for the life of me, the person I had conversations with could not come up with a legitimate answer, although I didn't directly ask the question based on who it was. But I, for the life of me, cannot give you a reason why you bench Sisley with 7-8 games to go. If nothing else,
actually, it was more than that. I think, Steve.
But you have this upcoming season coming forward, and I'm dumbfounded. I'm just absolutely dumbfounded.
Especially when you get to the last 4 or 5 games.
If anybody has a bullshit answer they want to give as to why Sisley and Connor, who's Taterway or Tater Totter?
Tate
Connerway. Why those guys didn't get more minutes and more playing time in the games. And we would take a kid like Tucker DeVries and run him 40 minutes to death in a game where he was ineffective for us toward the end of a game because the guy was just worn out. I mean, he played hard. So player utilization, those are my 2 prime examples. I mean, it goes to with offensive skill sets. I thought that, why didn't somebody take who's the guy that kept going to the hole that would never shoot? I'm not good at names. The other guard, the point guard.
I was looking something up. Shoot.
Oh.
The other guard for Indiana?
Yeah.
Dorn?
No, the little one that kept going to the hole.
Enright. Well, he'd go to the hole, but he was always looking to pass.
Well, why didn't somebody coach him in practice and say, hey, go to the hole, put it up?
Chris Covington says, with Tate, I just figured because he couldn't guard my grandma. I bet he could. I bet he could guard your grandma. I can tell you this. He was probably better than Dorn at defense, and Dorn still got to play. And you know what? You win games with offense. I know it's great to say that we want a team that's awesome on defense, but I'll take a number one offense and a number 100 defense and take my chances. I mean, I would take the dude that can score, that can distribute the ball. Connor Way scored 14 points in 19 minutes in the Big Ten game against Northwestern. What Connor Enright do? And did his defense make a difference? Because this is the thing. If Connor Enright was like a first team all Big Ten defender, I could see that. But it wasn't like he was a great defender. He was a solid defender, undersized. And Chris, thank you, because he said already that he had already liked the show. David Burnworth says early, but who do you think Indiana gets through? I have no idea. The transfer portal doesn't open for almost a month, so we'll get to that when we start.
We'll get to that here. We'll have a discussion about that. So player utilization, I think we've given a couple examples, again, it's not much utilizing players when you have them all just stand around the perimeter and try and jack up 3-pointers. That's not a lot of utilization there. That's a lot of one-dimensional. That's a lot of one-dimensional coaching.
If they make them, or you can rebound the miss, then it'll count.
Player utilization to me was a D-. I just thought we didn't.
I say F.
I'm going to say D. I'm going to say we got Wilkerson to play good, and we utilized his skill sets very well. So I'm going to throw you a bone for Wilkerson. I'm going to throw you a bone for him. Next one I wrote down was understanding the challenge. And what I meant by understanding the challenge, did our players really have a concept of where they were, what they needed to get done, how they needed to adapt? Did the players understand where they were lacking and where they were standing around, or were they just doing blindly what the coaches were telling them to do? If the coaches were telling them to do that, I mean,
I would say this, Steve. This team does not play. They did not play like an intelligent team.
No, not at all.
And like I said, whenever I say you played hard, but if an Indiana basketball team plays hard, there should at least be 21, 22 wins in a tournament bid. They played hard, but they played dumb as hell.
Let me just throw this out to you, Mike. Can you remember any time when they started walking back out of the court and Wilkerson or DeVries or somebody, DeVries, said everybody players, and they called a team huddle meeting without the coaches to try and figure it out for themselves? Anybody recall that? Anybody that's with us, I can't recall them doing that.
I've seen many teams do that.
Yeah.
And I would say this. Most of the teams that do that, their head coach gets fired shortly after.
Well, we did it, and Isaiah would call those meetings about 4 or 5 times a game.
Well, that was Isaiah, though. I mean, hell.
Yeah. Or Whitman would call them, whatever.
Robert Schwartz says, another thought. A donor is approached to give money. How would you feel given what you saw this season? You going to want to open that checkbook? I would say, I would just talk to him and say if I could talk to the guy who does the football money. I mean, if I'm going to spend my money, that's probably where I lean. Of course, Mark Cuban might throw $20 million at it, so if they win, he could stand on the court and act like he did something. So I don't
understanding the challenge, D. I mean,
understanding the challenge. I think it's still a freaking F. I just don't think anybody understood it. I think it was thrown on him quick. I don't think Coach DeVries completely understood it. I don't think, at least Dusty May grew up in the Big Ten. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
DeVries didn't. And I'll give him a pass there on that. And like I said, I'm going to give a pass for this year because I think what we've seen before is, he's made it to the NCAA tournament more in the last 10 years than Indiana has. So I'm going to believe that he knows what he's doing, that he screwed up the first year. And we've seen, Mike Krzyzewski was borderline going to get fired headed into the 1983 or 84 season. It was like his 3rd or 4th year. And then they won finally. But he was about to be fired. Sometimes it takes a while to get a lay of the land. I would give him that break, but I can tell you this: I am very concerned about where this program is headed.
Okay, I'm with you. Understanding the challenge tied into that. The next one I had was basically the same thing: teamwork. The one point I want to point out, though, there was no communication on this basketball team
Well,
whatsoever.
I think this, Steve. I think against average teams that they could compete with, I thought they communicated well. I think against good teams, they didn't. And I think what happens there is this: if I'm playing against somebody that's my level, it's really easy for me to communicate. If I'm playing somebody at a higher level, I got to worry about how I'm playing on top of what you're supposed to be doing, what he's supposed to be doing, and what we're communicating about. So I think stuff gets lost in translation with this team when they play against a better team. And it looked like when they played like Purdue the second time, Purdue was at a completely different level of basketball team. They made us look like Marion.
Or incarnate word.
And yes, Robert, the Big 12 is much more physical than what it was a couple of years ago. I'm pretty sure the Houston Cougars and Kansas Jayhawks would be considered physical. So, like I said,
When I'm talking communication, I'm talking about defensively mostly.
I know.
Large part.
I think they did against bad teams.
I never heard them talk at all.
You're not going to hear them, Steve, unless they're fucking screaming.
Well, they should be screaming. There's 17,000 fans in there screaming.
No, there isn't.
They've got to
At
be
an
hearing
IU
each
game,
other.
if it's an away game, maybe. If it's a home game, it's 10, 11,000.
I understand communication, and I'm telling you, I did not feel it, hear it, see it. There's no pointing by these guys saying, "Hey, your guy's coming through. Back off,
Never
let him
saw that
slide,
at
let
all.
him slide." Let me see. You got a weak man over here. You got a shooter posting up in the corner. Where's he at? Everybody know who's got him, who's man. I mean, we were trained in that. If we didn't communicate in practice, we weren't allowed to practice. We talked like crazy every single practice. We were laryngitis, short of laryngitis.
All right, so it's this, Steve. Either they didn't communicate in practice or they did.
Right.
And when it got to games, they didn't.
Okay, I'm saying there was no communication. It wasn't trained. It wasn't.
I'm saying there was. I gave you maybe there was against bad teams because I thought I heard the yelling and stuff early in the season, but that was against crap teams that aren't even good enough to turn down the NIT. So
there are certain things I look for, and one of the things I do look for is communication.
I will go F.
I don't agree with you on the total. You'll take a team and try and outscore everybody. I'll take a team.
Oh, you could do that.
No, I didn't. Good at both parts.
No, I put it like
while
if you're
may be a high performing offense, trust me, they'll kick your ass defensively too.
Sure, they will. Name me a team that last
won a national the axle with their offense.
I remember Georgetown doing that in 1984.
Yeah.
I don't remember the 87.
Great teams play great defense. You just don't notice it.
Oh, okay.
So, but the last time I saw a great team not play great defense probably was UNLV back
they were pretty freaking good on defense, dude. Larry Johnson, Stacey Allman was the best defender.
They were most. Oh, okay, well, that's my example of the last time I can remember a team that was significantly better offensively.
I'm just saying, if I'm in the top third on defense and I'm in the top 10 on offense, I'll take that.
All right.
Okay. Ryan Kramer says, great for overall program is a D. We haven't got to that yet. Go ahead, Steve. I need to read them before I read them.
I had culture, pride written down. I don't think his team has any understanding of the culture of Indiana basketball. I don't think they show me any pride. I don't think they gave a damn what was on the front of their jersey. I think they gave a damn about what was going in to their checkbook.
Agree. I just think they weren't very good.
I don't think there was any passion about having Indiana on the front. That's gone though. That may just now with the era of nil just be gone.
I think for the most part.
I think it. When I played, it was like, God, I'm going to get to play for Indiana. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. There's nobody here like that except for Trent Sisley. And the joke was on him because last half of the season he didn't get to play for Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, I got recruited by Duke, by UCLA, by Kentucky, and once Knight called me and said, "You want to come to Indiana?" I stopped listening. It's like I told my mom, my dad, my coach, and my AD, I'm not taking any more calls. I'm done. I got my dream. There was pride there. There was like, I'm going to get to wear Indiana on the front of my jerseys, where I played high school ball. It's where I grew up. That was the greatest college basketball team in the country at the time, and they'd asked me to play for them. There was a tremendous amount of pride.
I'm losing.
So, and there was a culture there. There was a culture of when we walked, everywhere we went with a suit and tie, not a sweatsuit. We wore a suit and tie, and we went in the back door of every hotel we went into, through the kitchen generally, not through the main lobby, touting around with headphones on or crap like that. We went up to our rooms. We stayed in our rooms. We took a walk, usually, after meals or something like that. We ate in private dining rooms. And there was just this culture. And when we played, teams feared us because of the culture we put on the floor. That's gone. That's entirely gone.
And the only way this program gets back to being even relevant is if that culture comes back.
It's not going to. We never will. We don't even have coaches wear suit and ties anymore. Hell,
Bob Knight wore a sweater his last 30 years.
Yeah, and look at that's when the decline of Indiana basketball started happening.
No, he wore a sweatshirt or a sweater in the '87 championship game, the red sweater.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He didn't have he wore a sweater then?
Yeah, 81 was the last time he wore a sweater.
You know why that was? That's when Timmy Knight came in and turned his damn sweater into a NASCAR.
Not yet. That was just...
Yeah, that was starting. Here, you get Big Bob's Burgers on this sleeve. You get
All right, hey, so here's
Mama Bear's Pizza on this sleeve.
Chris Covington says, I hope Sisley has the same amount of pride and stays with Indiana. The question is this.
Oh, he does.
That can be destroyed, though, by the way you're treated.
No, I think he does right now, but I can't guarantee you that it's going to be there by next season. The problem is that he got run down so much, I'm not sure he's worth anything in the open market right now.
Oh, on the open market, I think he still would be, because I think people realize the way things went there. I still don't think, just from listening to talk to the other night on an interview, I think he's planning on staying. What do we got? Bobby Davis. IU basketball sucks. It sucked for years. I miss the 80s and 90s. We all do, Bobby. Let's see. Marion was an exhibition game. Ryan, I've been trying to explain that to Steve. He just won't hear it.
I know exactly what Marion was.
I've tried repeatedly, but he still thinks it's a Big East team. I'm just kidding.
Lack of understanding of the culture and of the pride of being an IU basketball player. That's a D. It's gone. It's just gone. It's not. I mean, Sisley may be the only player on the team who even understands what it's like to be.
Damn. And does he? Because he would have been born after 2000.
Yeah, I said he may be the only one who hasn't. I think his parents do.
Yeah.
And his parents tried to instill that in him. His parents are big IU people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that brings us to the last one. Then we'll be done with this segment, the season. Let's rate the season. Everybody chipped. I mean, season to me, D at best.
I'll give you this. The first 25 games, I would give a C+. The last 7 games, I'd give a fucking probably a R. I don't think an F is low enough. So overall, I would give it a D- at best.
I'm going to go D for the whole season. I'm just going to combine it all.
I don't see how it could be a D, man. It's an F. It has to be an F. We're Indiana.
They came out. They came out early in the season, and there was bright spots. There were bright spots. Granted, I made a bitch about the fact that we were playing every game at home, and we weren't playing very tough competition. I harped on that all year long.
Yeah, I didn't say anything.
Not doing us any good, and it will do IU no good to pull that stunt again. They better get their asses on the road, and they better start playing some tough teams. Because we're playing putz teams at home, and we still aren't making the dance.
Yes, and P-Ball, that is the interview I was talking about, where Sisley actually said that he liked Coach DeVries, but you're going to stay if you want to stay. and he said that he thinks the foundation was built here. Is that possible that that did happen? I think it is possible that happened, Steve. I don't think it is likely that that has happened, but we'll see. And
I'm going to go into it with a total open mind and say it's the first year. He had a lot of things to undo.
yeah, I
And
mean,
I
this has
think,
been a dumpster fire since about 1995.
yeah, it's not, and I'm not going to blame all this on DeVries. My criticalness of DeVries is just things I think he could have controlled to move us in the right direction right now
Steve,
that weren't
this
controlled or weren't or didn't appear to be. Maybe he tried. I never went to a
I
practice.
think this, Steve. I think when we look at this, I think I found the issue.
I'm sorry, I'm not dressing again.
No, I got married in 1996. I met my wife in 1995. I used sucked ever since. This might be my wife's fault.
Wendy's a sweetheart.
I know, but still, can't get away from this. Might
All
be
right. So
her.
what's your grade for the season? I'm D.
I'm F. Didn't make the tournament. You failed. I'm sorry. You got to
Yeah.
make the tournament.
It's hard to go above it. Yeah, it's hard not to
Come
give
on,
enough.
fucking Miami of Ohio got an at-large bid before we
Shit.
did.
Miami
And they
of
played a
Ohio,
lot worse schedule
yeah,
than
got
we
an
did.
11 seed. Can you believe that? The team loses one damn game all year.
Well, I can
Gets
tell you this,
upset
though,
in a
Steve.
tournament by Akron and or by Penn, and then they go and turn around and barely make the thing.
Yeah, but I can tell you this. I don't think they're that good. I do think they're going to upset SMU in the play-in game because SMU has played like IU over the last.
I think the
3 or
whole
4 weeks.
concept of how they do the tournament is bullshit. It's bullshit the way they do it. They don't want to take the 68 best teams to go play. They don't. You can literally, legitimately have a team in the tournament right now whose record is 3-26.
You did have it last week.
Yeah, well, you could do that. All they had to do was win their conference championship and get the automatic bid.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I have major problems with that.
Oh, I have a major
when there's
problem.
this kind of money on the line and programs, and it's not about Indiana.
The money wouldn't be there without these Cinderellas. If this was just the top 16 teams and it was all big-time teams, this tournament never would have gotten this popular.
No, you got to keep it 68 teams. You just take the 68 best teams. Anyway, I just don't. I don't.
You don't. I mean, you can't take the 68 best teams.
Okay.
I mean, no, the point is this. If I'm Miami of Ohio and nobody will play me as a big-time program, what the hell am I supposed to do?
Dance with the one that brung you.
I think this. I think the issue is if you win the regular season conference championship, you should be the automatic bid. And I think that you could still have the conference tournaments, I guess. I guess they do it just for extra money.
Well, but we see that negates the importance of the conference championships. And if you say the regular season champion, whoever wins the Big Ten outright after an 18-game schedule, which is how it should be.
Yeah, Michigan is the Big Ten champion.
Yeah, they're the big. They went through the entire season playing everybody at least once.
You see, this is the thing. The thing
now we turn around and give it to Purdue, who upsets them, and it doesn't hurt Michigan because they're a number one seed and Purdue's not, which I think is a good slap in the face on the whole system right there.
What?
Well, Purdue didn't get a number one seed.
Why
Michigan
the hell
did.
should they be a number one seed?
Well, they won their conference championship.
The fuck's that matter? You just said it didn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I'm saying
why should they get a number one seed?
They shouldn't. They didn't. It's a good slap in the face. They did it right. I agree. They did it right by not giving it to Purdue because they won.
I think you misphrased your answer there.
Okay. All right.
Well, you said it was a slap in the face to the NCAA at first.
The NCAA slapped the system in the face by saying, we believe Michigan, even though they did not win the automatic bid, they still were the best team in the conference.
But that's obvious.
Yes, it is.
I mean, they also beat Michigan.
I'm just stating the obvious, Mike. Let's move on.
I think this. I think if I'm playing in a conference semifinal in the Big Ten and I'm Michigan, I'd better lose and take an extra day off before going to Thursday. Because remember this, the history of conference tournament champions winning or making a deep run in the NCAA tournament is not great. And we've seen a lot of teams come up short in the conference tournament and go on to win a national championship. Hold on here. Indiana Sports Connection, where IU's going all wrong here. Guys, we suck again and again and again. I think that this is, and generally it's what I've said about the basketball program. I still think it's the administration, because coaches can win games, but administrations win national championships. And I think this administration went all in on football. For some reason, there's still a problem with basketball. And that problem
Yeah, I disagree
was
with you.
that, I'm sorry, Quinn Buckner fucked this program up over the last 5 years.
Well, no, I give you that, but I'm I'm going to get bitch slapped for this statement.
No, you're not. Nobody
But
listens.
I tend to think Signetti was a dumbass stroke of luck as much as it was anything. I
It
think
always is when you get a dude.
Yeah,
it was a dumbass stroke
I
of
mean,
luck.
it wasn't administrative genius that brought Signetti to
You had to pick
Indiana.
him.
It was some administrative genius and some dumbass luck. And I say to this day, the team that wins the championship this year wins it because they're 51% lucky. You win this tournament on 51% luck. You know, I don't care what anybody will tell you. By the time you get to the Final Four or the Sweet 16, the most talented teams are up front, or the hottest teams. The teams that deserve to be in the Sweet 16 or the Final Four are there. Then it just becomes, does the ball bounce your way? Do you get the call? Do you keep your guy out of foul trouble? Do you keep no injuries on? You know, can you stay focused and not get distracted? You know.
All right, so I think this Indiana Sports Connection, when you're talking about, we don't know that the administrator likes Signetti. Time will tell on that. The thing is this, Signetti's kind of backed him in the corner like Knight did going to the Final Four in his second year, where they're going to kind of have to do what he wants.
Why would they not like Signetti?
Well, they didn't like Knight.
But Signetti's not Knight.
Looks
Signetti's
very-
they never show me any tendencies. Knight was an asshole.
Signetti is an
No,
asshole.
Signetti is a brazen, bold coach.
No. Okay, so wait a second. If you were not an Indiana fan, if you were an Ohio State or Michigan fan, you would say he was an asshole.
Well, yeah, because he's kicking my ass. He's beating
And he's
everybody.
running his mouth while he's doing it.
I don't think he ran.
Now, he
his
didn't
mouth.
run it as much this year, but the year before he did. When he said that we don't just beat top 25 teams, we beat the shit out of them.
Well, and he
on
was
national-
exactly right.
And then, yes, he was so right that right after that, Notre Dame boat
I
raced
love
us
an
out of the
underdog, but
playoffs.
I love a coach who spits it out there and backs it up too.
But he didn't back it up, Steve. He got his ass kicked by Notre Dame. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
That was last year.
I'm just saying.
I don't think there's a lot in common between
Here you go.
Signetti and
I
Knight.
think there is. Indiana Sports
I
Connection.
don't.
I agree.
I don't.
He didn't get hired in a lot of places because of his controlling attitude and gruff demeanor. If that's not, very similar to Bob
And there are a
Knight.
lot of places that are rethinking how they hire football coaches right now.
No, they're not, because places, trust me, Steve, if you say what you think and you give people shit that aren't doing things right in any organization you're in, most of those people will want you gone even if you're winning.
Okay. All right.
Trust me, it's true.
All right.
Because I'm a controlling asshole too. So,
No, you're just an asshole.
oh, yes, I am. I am. But I control that I'm an asshole. So that's a controlling asshole. Wait a second. Indiana Sports Connection. I want to take this up. I don't know if he's the dude that did the video, but I think he is. It's BK in acceptable form. I agree. But Indiana Sports Connection, I think, did a video the other day saying the 1993 team was the best team not to win a national championship. I just want to clarify. He did mean Indiana, correct? Indiana Sports Connection. DeVries is the exact opposite of Kurt Signetti. Michigan State leads the nation in consecutive tournament appearances with 28. Just thought I'd throw it out there. The thing that's more impressive is Mark Few's made it 26 times in a row with Gonzaga. And that was basically taking a program that had never been anywhere. I mean, they had Coach Monson, who made it to the tournament the first year with him, and they made it every year since Mark Few took over from Monson. So, and Michigan State.
How many championship rings does Few have?
He has very few.
There's none.
No, he has a bunch.
None.
He's
No
won his
national
conference
championship.
championship repeated times.
No
And fucking
national
no,
championship.
I don't want to hear it. You told me one time the Big Ten banners that hung were just as important as the national
They
championship
are.
banners. Well, then why the hell don't Mark Few's count?
I didn't say they didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I think that everybody measures coaches right now by national championship rings.
That's fucking stupid, though.
Yeah, I know. Life's stupid, isn't it, Mike?
No, I mean, it is stupid when you figure there's
Uh-huh.
been, 10 different programs that have won it in the last 40 years? You don't have that many guys to judge, and there's been a lot of great coaches that didn't win anything. Hold on. He said, no, of all time. I love that team. I know 75 was maybe better, but I think the shot clock and three-point line made it harder to be great in 1993. I agree, which is why I would throw my hat in the ring for probably, even though I hate them, 1991 UNLV. That was a hell of a team. And it took an all-time team to beat them, too.
Larry
One game they
Johnson.
lost. Larry Johnson,
Grandmama.
Stacey Ogman, Anderson Hunt,
Michael Johnson.
Anderson.
Wasn't it? Was it? No, who was the? That's a great team. Tark the Shark and his towel.
He's a cheating son of a bitch. We all
All
know
right,
that team
you
was
got away with
fine.
it. It ain't cheating if you don't get caught.
So it's still cheating. You just didn't get caught. All right. Robert Schwartz says, IU needed to hire a mean and nasty bastard. Why do you have to be a mean and nasty bastard to be a winning coach? That's the fucking, no offense, Robert. I love you. But that's just, I mean, put it like this: there's more chances you get a mean, nasty bastard. He's going to run your program right into the fucking ground than anything else.
All right.
Mean and nasty bastard worked in the 60s.
So
70s,
are we
80s.
trying to imply that we think that Indiana made the wrong hire?
I don't think they necessarily made the wrong hire, but I think there's a decent shot that maybe they made the
not best hire
for them. But we'll see. I wanted Ben McCollum, who is in the tournament at Iowa. And you know what? I'll tell you what. And I was telling Risley this the other day. I flipped on for some fucking reason the Yale versus Penn game, and I'm cheering for Penn because they're like 18 and 12. I think they're like IU, but then they start to win the game at the end, and all of a sudden, who do I see? Fucking Farmer Fran is the coach at Penn. So I immediately started to cheer for Yale, but then Farmer Fran made the NCAA tournament. Couldn't make it with Iowa the last year or two, but he damn near sure made it with them.
How did Alford do? Did Alford survive his job?
I don't know yet. Indiana Sports Good. I'm getting a lot of comments throwing teams in 1989, Illinois, and others. 1989, Illinois was a good team, but I would say 75 Hoosiers, 91 UNLV. All right, Robert Schwartz. And what direction is it? It's headed to the shitter. It doesn't matter. I mean, I don't care if you had a dude that was screaming and hollering. It doesn't mean he's going to win. There's all kind of assholes that don't win. Just because Bob Knight screamed and hollered doesn't mean that's the only way you could win basketball.
I'm going to withhold judgment on what direction until I see DeVries next season. Then I'll tell you what direction it's going.
Yeah, but
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to judge DeVries on one season and say the program's going back to the toilet.
It's very unfair to judge him because he's not mean as shit to the players.
No, I don't think it's unfair to judge him right now for anything. I mean, I got to give the guy a season to get his culture in place, to get his, he may come out next year and be a completely different coach. And we may love the guy. I don't know. I mean, a lot depends right now on the amount of money he gets for portal, what he can get coming to Indiana. I got a segment next. We're going to talk about who's returning, who's incoming for the team. What's the foundation
All right,
of the team look like right now?
I'm ready for this. You better be prepared.
I'm probably never as prepared as you, Mike. I just walk around with my national championship ring and go, duh.
I got
been there, done that. I don't need to talk shit.
Next
I live shit. So that's fine.
Indiana has 7 players that can return, Steve.
Yeah, I got them written down.
How many do you think will actually return?
Looking at this list,
yeah,
Dorn may be the only one who doesn't return.
You don't
Maybe
think Dorn
Risley.
will?
No, I don't think he will.
I think he will. He was allowed to miss a lot of shots before they ever sat him.
I don't think he will. I think he thinks highly of himself.
Do you think Miles?
Okay,
What about
let's
Miles?
wrap up this. Everybody, don't pass judgment on IU basketball and DeVries right now. Let him have another year, and then we can rip his ass apart in the same show next year. If Michael had me be his co-partner with the show again, if he finds some guy from Florida who infinitely knows 10 times more about basketball, he drinks a lot of milk and loves Mike Woodson, but he's a lot smarter than I am. Mike will probably get back with him. So I may not even be here next year, but we'll see where things are
What the
next
hell
year.
are you even talking about?
Yeah, I'm just rambling.
I attacked Michael
Okay,
Woodson before he
so
got the
stay
job, so he's
open-minded
not coming over.
stay open-minded. It breaks our heart. It breaks my heart that I'm at least on Thursday or Friday. At some point, one of those 2 days, I'm not sitting there for at least 2 hours and watching Indiana play. Probably lose, but play. And then I'm not even this is it. This is getting put in the closet after today. I'm done.
Well, I got it. Like what? Spring football is coming.
I got football clothes. I got football stuff.
Almost all my football clothes.
I'll bring out my football gear for that and look forward to that. And although I don't get involved with football anyway, I'm not smart enough to talk IU football. I'll be the first to admit that. Okay, so be open-minded about Darren DeVries. Let's see what he can do now. He's got a year under his belt. For those of you that haven't heard, just this morning, Scott Dawson was named the National Athletic Director of the Year.
Thank you, Kurt Signetti.
Yeah, thank you, Kurt Signetti, but it happened and he's got it. That should be a little more clout in his pocket to get some more money and hopefully allow Darren to, despite a dismal first year, bring in some talent and see if he can right this ship. If he can't write it in 2 years, based on what who's the guy at Michigan?
Dusty May.
Dusty May. What Dusty May has done, then maybe we're barking up the wrong tree. I don't know. We don't with Nil, you don't have 10 years to develop a program. You got to do it in 3
real
years.
quick, Steve, you know what we forgot? There's a
What?
lot of new listeners in the last 20 minutes. Make sure you hit that like button if you're watching on YouTube. And follow us at Grueling Truth on X. All right, you want to do
All right, here we go. Now,
we got
returning next year, here's what we got coming back. Mike, feel free to comment on these whenever you want. Yazim Miles. Never even heard of the guy.
Yazim Miles?
Yazim
Because
Miles.
that's not how you say his first name. And he played all year and didn't score many points.
All right.
Yeah, Miles.
Trent Sisley. Trent Sisley is probably the one of two biggest names, biggest players coming back, although it's a Bermuda Triangle why this kid got taken and benched the last third of the season. I'm not figuring that one out.
Hey, Risley, Bob Knight used to do that to you for games too before, and you still ended up getting a ring at the end. So hopefully Sisley will do the same thing as Risley.
Well, but I also know that when Kitchell got into foul trouble 3 or 4 minutes into the championship game, he looked down the bench, and I'm the one that went in and played the most part. And then when Landon fouled out, I went in for Landon too. So I think he looked at it and said, Risley's a prick, but I know I can count on him.
No, it was just the point that Sisley, I mean, there's a lot of guys that have had that effect.
The first thing I did was go out and put Worthy on his fucking ass.
Now, Jason Drake, Josh Harris, and Andre Azamovic, I don't know. I figured I'd save you the trouble of trying to have to pronounce
those are managers.
Make myself look stupid. Those three, I don't know much about. Alexa Ristic, we didn't get to see him hardly at all. I would say Dorn, Sisley, Ristic. I would try to retain.
Dorn, Ristic, and Sisley. Yeah, I think you keep 2 or 3 of those. I think maybe Sisley may be the only one you keep in the long run. These guys.
Dorn, I don't really like Dorn.
I think Dorn's gone. I think
Dorn's a bad defender, but he can shoot the ball. But he would have to be willing to be probably the 6 or 7 guy off the bench. I agree. I don't think he's good for that.
Okay, freshman coming in, Prince Alexander Moody. Athleticism and scoring.
Is it 3 different guys or just one?
No, it's Prince Alexander Moody. He replaced Prince William in the royal family.
Oh, okay. With Prince
Prince
William when he
William
got
got
busted for the Epstein stuff.
exonerated for spending too much time at Epstein Island.
Brian Kramer wants to know if we know what the average attendance was for the season. My guess would be 12,000.
I can tell you here real quick. Hang on.
I'm gonna guess 12,000.
No. Paid attendance 14,433.
So it's probably about 10 to 12.
It's 14. That's paid attendance. So.
Well, paid
It
attendance
doesn't
ain't how
mean,
many
yeah, it
people
doesn't
there.
mean who. But I know when I'm not saying when I say I said my era, not me, my era. Every game is a sellout. So I mean I literally would struggle to get more than 4 to 6 tickets per game. And that was as a senior. And I got 4 free from the university and always had
All
the
right, so what do
opportunity.
they got recruits? They got a top 20 high school
Prince
class.
Alexander Moody, who was a top 75 player. He's in the top 75. Then the top 100, Vaughn Carvala. Yeah, Vaughn Carvala. Forward, long arms, lean, good skill sets. He's a top 100 player. And then Trevor Manhertz, Manhertz, Mertz, physical, interior player, toughness, and rebounding is what I have written down for him. So the 3 that we apparently have who have verbally committed, Prince Alexander Moody, Vaughn Carmala, Milla, whatever, and Trevor Manhertz are the 3 that I've got.
Well, see, I think the big one here is if you can get Isaiah Hill out of Indianapolis Pike, who's a 4-star, 6'10" center. I think that is the big one you could pull here. And it does look like when you look at offers extended, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 offers extended for 2027.
What's the kid out of Pike's name?
Isaiah Hill.
Oh, yeah, that's a total money grab. I guarantee you that's a total money grab.
Okay.
Whoever pays him the most is going to get him.
Well, actually, that's usually how going someplace works, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's a money grab. It's not there's no, I want to go play for Indiana.
There would not be that with you either right now. If at 18 you were offered $500,000 a year by the University of North Carolina, you'd have went and been in Tar Heel as opposed to playing for free at IU.
No, I was offered crap to go play at Kentucky, and I turned it down.
Not $500,000.
No, but I mean, there was no offer made to me, but there was innuendo, and I know what players that were in my class that went there got. And they did it like around partial ownership in horses.
But what I'm saying is,
so you would get money for your horse doing well at the track and winning, and then selling of your horse.
all I'm telling you is
way to do that.
If you were offered $500,000, you'd have went whoever offered you $500,000 if nobody else offered you anything.
Well, sure, I would have. I'd been stupid not to, too.
So don't be acting like they're just jumping on the money. Because that's what you do.
It's a money grab, Mike. I would sit there and advise.
People, I said 2027. That's my hope. Because
if you can get $500,000 and you get somebody good to invest it for you, you're set for the rest of your life. You find somebody that can invest that money well for you and let it grow and grow and grow and grow. And don't go to the record store. Don't buy an Escalade. Just
didn't I say those were 2027 recruits? I thought I said they were 20 because actually they have offers to 4 or 5 of the best players in the state of Indiana in the 2027 class. I wasn't talking about this next year.
What my intelligence tells me, which isn't very great, Prince, Moody, Vaughn, Carvala, Trevor Manhertz are people who apparently have verbally committed to Indiana.
Yeah, I was talking about the year after because I think what happens here with those 3 guys, you get 3 or 4 more really good guys in the portal, And
Right.
then the next year, you're bringing in 3 or 4 of the best players in the state
Right.
of Indiana.
I think
Then this should be okay.
I think this thing about, and what are our needs? We need point guards, we need power forwards, and we need a center. You know, who doesn't need that? That's kind of what every college team needs is point guards, the power forwards, and centers. Okay, the 6'5" swing man is a dime a dozen in college sports. So you know, now the other thing I was going to say is I really hope that at some point college coaches get smart and start trying to nill junior players as opposed to senior players. Now, Indiana laid itself out by recruiting pretty much all seniors. We were losing everybody.
All I can say is, could you imagine this class if we didn't have Lamar Wilkerson, though?
It'd have been pretty bad.
We'd have won like 7 games.
We would have, yeah. Did we even get an offer for the NIT? Is there an NIT anymore?
There is an NIT, but almost everybody turns it down. So you get like Yale's a 2 seed.
So we are not playing in that.
Almost nobody big conferences, I don't think. Hold on, I'll pull up a bracket if they still make them. I think one of the tournaments, CBI or something.
Yeah, there's another tournament too I saw.
The CBI canceled for this year, but they'll be back next year, they said. The NIT right now, Auburn is playing in it. I mean, Seattle University is a 4 seed. Something called St. Thomas in Minnesota is in it. George Mason, Liberty, Nevada. There you go. Steve Alford's a 2 seed. New Mexico, Sam Houston, Utah Valley, George Washington. Yeah, most big major conference teams are not playing in this. And to tell you, the top 4 seeds in the NIT are Tulsa, Wake Forest, New Mexico, and Auburn.
I thought Nevada was.
Yeah, they're a number 2 seed.
Oh, in a core.
In the NIT. Yeah,
In
they're
the
a 2
NIT.
seed in the NIT. So we're not missing anything. All right, we ready to get the hell out of here, Risley?
Yeah, I got to get my car washed. And yeah, overall, not what I expected once the season started, where I thought we were going off the get-go. I think there's a lot of room for improvement in a lot of areas with the basketball program. But there's been that way for the last 20 years. So
Yeah.
be it.
Hey, our next show will be the 400th Indiana basketball show we've ever done. Just so you know.
That's nice. That's very nice. Nice to know we have that longevity.
Pretty exciting. Yeah, it means neither one of us have died yet. All right, knock on wood. We're going to go ahead. We're going to wrap the show up. Make sure.
Why don't you guys grade this show? Hey, give us a grade for the show. Everybody just put F.
Just give Risley a grade for the show.
I might need to stroke my ego.
No, I don't think they will. That's why I figured I'd throw it on you. But all right, guys, make sure you check us out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Spreaker, over 300 different outlets you can find us on. Follow us on X at Grueling Truth. But for now, for Steve Risley, I'm Mike Goodpasture. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.